I'm ready. Hi! Good afternoon. Kumusta po kayo? This is Norman, your blogger at normanorman.com, and this is the fourth episode of Pageantry Norms. Truth be told, the status of male pageants in the Philippines could not yet level up to the popularity that female pageants have achieved. Locally, nationally, and internationally. Parang toddler stage pa rin ang male competition. They haven't fully crossed over to the mainstream just yet. But certainly, we have made some worthwhile achievements in international male pageantry. And that is the main reason why this afternoon's episode of Pageantry Norms will focus on the kings of Philippine pageantry. The kings of Philippine pageantry, or well, actually, we have so many kings of Philippine pageantry, but for this afternoon's episode, I can only accommodate five at most, so that they will represent some of the names and faces who have given us pride in international male pageantry. And I like this afternoon's discussion to be light, very laid back as much as possible. Although we will have a pageant Q&A later, just for fun, nothing that would put anyone on the spot. So let me introduce to you our guests for this afternoon. The first one, actually, he's like the big brother, the kuya of the group. He's the guy who very nearly won the country's very first Mr. World title when he represented us during the Mr. World 2012 competition in the United Kingdom last 2012. He bagged first runner-up honors, and he was also quite the popular guy in his batch at the time. Right now, he is a loving dad of two daughters, and he has a business in Palawan, but now he's in Manila to be with us. Friends, let's welcome Mr. Andrew Wolf. Andrew, please say hi to our viewers first.
Hi, viewers. Tito Norms, thank you so much for having me. And to all the viewers, hello. How are you? I have my COVID cut, so excuse the hair. But later, we'll be free or happy to answer your questions. And let's have a good time this afternoon.
Yeah, my God, the COVID cut is really, it's really very
Temporary,
COVID.
guys. Temporary for
But I
until we
like
have a
it.
vaccine. So maybe 5 years.
No, but I
You
like
never
the
know.
COVID haircut because it looks clean. Looks
Not
clean.
criminal.
Not criminal because I don't remember you having tats or something like that, or something that would give away a bad boy image. But I know that when you're playing rugby, you can be a bad
Yeah.
boy when you're playing rugby.
Yeah. Even you,
Yeah.
Tito, you can all be bad boys and girls.
Yeah, I can. Let me fix my hair first for you because I don't want to look like an old maid
Bad girl.
beside Mr. World 2012 first runner up. Yeah. Andrew, I'll introduce the others
See you.
first. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God, I, I remember that there's a BL series.
Cyber kiss. Mwah.
There's a BL series actually that did that kind of thing. It's I don't know. No,
Okay,
that
we'll
was,
do high five. High five.
oh, okay. Here. My dainty hands are, yeah, there you
Interlocking hands.
go.
Interlocking hands.
Oh my God. Andrew, naloloka ako
Hey, this is
sa'yo.
this is my first interview like this.
Yes.
So try new things.
Yeah, and besides, I know that when I personally, well, not personally, I invited you online, I know that you can never say no to me.
Of
Because if
course.
you did,
No,
because if you
that's
did,
not in my vocabulary. Saying no to Tito Norms, no. It's always
okay,
a yes.
Thank you so much for that, Andrew. I'll introduce the others first before we start our
Yeah.
actual
Anyway, hi guys.
discussion. Yeah. Our next guest, he brought honor to the country when he um, won the country's very first Mr. Universal Ambassador title last 2018 in India. Prior to that, he won the Mr. Hana's World Tourism Philippines title, which got him that privilege of representing as a Mr. Universal Ambassador 2018. Friends, let's welcome George the Lumen. Hi,
Hello, Tito
George.
Norman. Hello po.
Hi,
Thank you
George.
for
Stay.
inviting me here.
Yes, please
And
say hi to our viewers
hello
na
to
manonood.
the viewers. Hello po sa inyo lahat. Kamusta po? Thank you, Tito
And
Norman, sa pag-invite.
and kumusta ka naman? Parang hindi ka nagpapagupit, George, no? Parang
Um,
ano talaga, nagpa-trim ka?
Mabilis lang talaga humaba yung buhok ko, Tito. Alam mo naman.
Pero nagpa-trim ka kamo ng lagay na yan, hindi ba?
Binago ka na yung buhok ko kasi nung una.
Ah,
Kulot-kulot tapos.
saan ka tinrim? Sa batok? Sa batok?
Sa gilid, Tito
Oh
Norman.
my God, hindi ko naman napupuna kung kung sa gilid na tinrim yan. But anyways,
Hindi pa
kita
ba?
mo, tingnan mo. Hindi naman, ano lang.
Ah,
Well, sanay na naman ako sa'yo talaga, George, na talagang mahaba ang buhok mo. And, kumbaga,
hindi kasi, hindi
uy,
kasi sa akin bagay kalbo.
hindi nga. Pero alam nyo, meron akong small trivia for everyone about me and George sa mga pinagsamahan namin. Alam niyo ho ba na yung very first plane ride ni George,
Yes, so Tito
unang
Norman.
beses siyang sumakay sa
Sumakay ng
eroplano.
aeroplano. Si
It
Tito
was
Norman ang kasama.
it was before when we were invited to judge the
Sa Tacloban.
the what's the title of that
Sangyaw?
pageant?
Sangyaw.
Sangyaw, Ginoong Sangyaw
Sangyaw.
in Tacloban City.
Tacloban.
Kaya hi to the people in Tacloban. Happy birthday, Jake Superable. Yun lang. And doon yun ang parang memorable sa kanya because first time sumakay sa aeroplano at kasama niya ako.
Tapos kasama ko pa si Tito Norman, di ba?
Kaya lalo pa ako hindi makapag-concentrate noon talaga dahil pero binigyan naman kami ng hiwalay na kwarto kaya wala namang problema. Oo. Yes. George, I will introduce the others first before natin simulan ang ating discussion.
Okay, Tito.
Okay. Our next guest, he is the reigning Mr. World Philippines, and he is also the reigning Mr. World Asia Pacific 2019. Actually, yung competition niya na Mr. World, it was held here in the Philippines last year, and I was able to cover that entire competition extensively from start to finish, from the arrival of the candidates up to the different competitions in between, plus the finals. So, natutuwa ako na kasama natin siya this afternoon. Friends, let us welcome. Well, you know him as JB, but I always fondly call him Jody Baines because that is his JB is actually Jody Baines, kaya lang JB for short na lang. JB, hello, good afternoon, JB.
Hi, good
Hello.
afternoon, Tito Norms. Thank you for inviting me here. And kamusta kayo mga viewers? Sana safe kayo lahat ngayon. Eto, dito ako ngayon, traveling ako. So kaya nasa kotse ako, pasensya na. Nakasombrero din ako dahil di pa ako nakakapagpagupit. So wala rin akong COVID cut.
Pero ang gwapo pa rin, no? Kumbaga,
Laksan naman ang bola dito, Norm.
Hindi ba? Naalala mo kanina, bago tayo nag-live, tabitin yung tanong ko, hindi ko napasagot sa'yo. Sagot, ang tanong ko is, alam mo, JB, kung what I miss most about yung competition mo na Mr. World 2019, ang sagot mo, ako? Sabi ko, next to you. Sino? Next to you. Next to you. Of course, syempre, naging malapit naman sa akin din naman yung mga kalaban mo noon. Feeling ko nga noon.
Si Russia ba yan?
Uy naman, grabe. Hindi naman si Russia. Sobrang napakalaki naman niyang tao. Alam mo, actually,
sa kanya eh.
Alam mo actually, lahat ng mga pageant media na kilala ko, na malapit sa akin, alam nila palagi na, ay, ang crush na crush ko nun yung kasama mo si Mr. Thailand. Lahat yun sinasabi na si Mr. Thailand daw. Pero actually, ano ko lang, front ko lang si Mr. Thailand dahil meron akong mas crush na mga kasama
Alam ko
mo.
naman ako yun eh. Alam ko ako yun. Nako.
Oh, sige. All right. Yeah. Oo, lalong-lalo na talaga noong nung nasa Laguna tayo noon doon sa military sa boot camp yun talaga. Yung boot camp. Yung boot camp.
Grabe yun.
Yung
Hindi
boot
na nga
camp.
natin natapos yun eh.
Alam mo kung saan ako naloka doon? Inipon na kayong lahat doon sa parang hall na parang auditorium. Tapos
Hmm.
di syempre, doon na nagpapalit lahat ng damit. So lahat ng pawis, lahat ng pawis talagang halo-halo na. Sabi ko, oh my God, this is the smell of a locker room pala. Ganito pala. Hindi kasi ako sanay pumasok sa locker room na puno-puno ng
Amoy
boys.
lalaki ba?
Totoo talaga yun. And, pero natutuwa ako because pag nakakasama mo na kasi, kasama ko na kayo at ibang mga candidates, it humanizes everyone. You may be Mr. Philippines, you may be representing a country like this and like that, pero at the end of the day, you are all guys vying for the crown and hindi yung para bang pinapanood ko kayo sa stage, kasama ko kayo, nagpupunta sa mga, my God, kung alam mo lang ang dilayo ko papunta sa Laguna na yun, Diyos ko talagang nag-tricycle pa kami, nagpadyak pa kami and everything para lang
Papunta
makarating
doon?
na.
Kami
Because
nga talaga walang idea kung saan kami pupunta eh.
actually, yung sa amin noon, lakas ng loob na lang talaga because we didn't know kung tama ba yung pinupuntahan namin. But somehow, we managed to get there. And kasi naman pagdating namin doon, yung mga sundalo doon sa gate, ang gwapo na. So, na-distract na ako right away. Pero totoo ako, alam mo, totoo ako. And up to now, I'm still giving mga small messages sa mga kasama mo noon. Sabihin mo na naman, ba't hindi mo binibigyan ng message? Pasensya na po kasi I'm very internationally friendly talaga, JB. JB, I'll talk to you again in a bit. I'll just introduce our other guests. Yeah, our next guest, he is actually the very first winner of the newly reinvented Ginoong Pilipinas. And he is the pride of the Queen City of the South, Cebu. He's this tall Dutch dude na talaga namang when he joined the competition last year, it was like parang may katrio na gray agad na kalaban yung mga other guys na parang, ay, wala na, uwian na, winner na to. No, because he's tall, he's good looking. Tapos when he speaks, talagang, wow, wala lang. Parang nag-Q&A training siya for 10 years and then ngayon yung nilalabas lahat ng galing niya. Friends, let's welcome Ginoong Pilipinas 2019 for Mr. Universe Tourism, Eric Visser. Hi, Eric.
Hi, everyone, and hi, Tito Norman. Thank you for those kind words, and it's so good to see you again. And I hope everyone watching will really enjoy this live chat with us.
Of course, Eric. Alam mo naman na I was witness yung sa competition mo last year from start to finish na alam na natin lahat na naglalaban-laban na lang yata yung mga fellow candidates mo for the second title, the third title, and the fourth. Dahil kuha mo na yung top title. What can you say about that? Oo, di ba? Looking back, talagang...
Well, of course, Tito, you know, I expect... Yes, Tito, it was like... I just knew that everyone was going to do their best and that, you know, it was going to be competitive. And I was just grateful to be part. And, you know, I just had to be confident and do my thing and just try to stand out from everyone else.
Yun nga nakakatuwa doon, Eric eh. Everyone is giving their best. Pero pag ikaw, the minute you give your best, parang, oh my God, where else will we start giving our best when the best is giving his best all the time? Parang gano'n, di ba? Oh, parang, oh my goodness. And your competition for Miss Universe Tourism will happen next year. Am I right?
It was supposed to
More like,
be, yeah, it was supposed to be held in November, but it was pushed back because of this current pandemic. So it's gonna be
yes,
sometime next year. So I'm looking
yes.
forward to that.
And are you bringing me to Indonesia, Eric, for Mr. Universe Tourism? Do you want me to come
Um,
there? Do you want?
of
Oh,
course,
parang
Tito, I need you to support me.
parang ayaw mo yata eh. Parang you're parang on the
You were
fence
there to
about the.
you were there to support me from the start in Ginoong Pilipinas. You should be here with me also and get in Mr. Universe Tourism, di ba?
I okay, and I will contact all the organizers so that they will bring me for
Ah, okay.
sure.
That's good to know, Tito. I'll help them convince.
All right, that makes me happy. Eric, I'll introduce the last guest before we do the questioning talaga, no?
All right, Tito. No
And our
problem.
fifth guest for this afternoon, he is one of Mr. Filipinas title holders last year. He represented us in Man of the World 2019, where he finished as fourth runner-up to the candidate from Bulgaria. Um, Funny though, we met in person just once, but I think that's more than enough to actually sense yung we're cool with each other pag kunyari nag-uusap or anything like that. So, um, friends, let's welcome Mr. JP Ocat. He is the Man of the World 2019 fourth runner-up. O, biro mo, final
Ayun.
introduction. Parang napaka-special
Oo
ng
nga, I was
introduction,
actually,
hindi
ano
ba?
nervous kasi
Nakaka,
talaga
nakakatuwa lang. Teka muna, hindi ba JP, correct me if I'm wrong, you used to work with PAL ba? Or
Philippine
with
Airlines. That
PAL?
was my first job, yeah. And
Oo. Pero hindi ka na doon, hindi ka na connected with PAL
I
right
do
now?
project management ngayon dito. Yun talaga yung
Mm.
career ko after that. Yeah, and also do
So,
modeling on the side, you know.
well, yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm the number one stalker I know. So,
I know.
I
And it's really funny that when we met, parang I've always heard about you, like I know you, pero parang I have not met you. And then I think I met you during Mr. World.
Binibining no, Mr. World, outside Araneta
Yes,
Coliseum.
yes, that was with Voltaire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oo. So, sabi ko nga, ayun pala si JP, nahiya na ako because it's so
And then
para,
funny thing, kasi parang I thought you were like this, you know, the stereotype I had in mind was like you're this masungit and all that. And then seeing you coming from afar, parang sabi ko, okay, oh, that's normal. So parang alam mo yung all the expectations I had in mind, biglang nag-iba because you're really friendly.
ganun daw talaga, JP. You know, kailangan may konting mystery. And
Yeah.
that's also one of the secrets behind whenever I coach or teach young girls who want to become beauty queens, kailangan syempre suplado muna ang effect so that
More.
the minute you lay down yung ground rules, ano talaga,
Hmm.
they follow right away, and then you just show your parental and nurturing side afterwards. Oh, yung nurturing daw, it's my favorite word ko, nurturing side.
Actually,
Yeah, yeah. And actually, we were making chika backstage before we went live. Hindi ka pa nakapasok noon. And I said that we will have a pageant Q&A later on. But
oh,
it's all for the spirit of fun
yeah,
because
yeah.
I asked some of my pageant friends to actually send in their question so that pero yung question na yun directed talaga to specific people.
People.
So ibig sabihin um, it could be something that is very unique to your personality or to the pala, malala ko, di ba, during Man of the World, you were the host delegate.
I was.
Because, yeah.
You know,
So,
a lot of pressure talaga. And I'm sure JP can relate.
yeah, it's really hard to be a host delegate because on one end, you want to win for the country, but on the other, you want to be the best host. So, as host, parang, di ba?
And
Huwag
aside from
kayo.
that, Tito, like the owner of the pageant is also Filipino. So alam mo yun, they have to
Exactly.
tick all the boxes in order for me to win. Na parang I have to win. I mean, I have to prove to the mother organization that I deserve, not because I'm Filipino. Second, I have to prove to the Filipinos that I'm deserving, not because it's held here in the Philippines. So I really have to do my best like 10 times.
Yeah, that's the hard part actually, because if you were representing the Philippines in a foreign country, then the pressure is not as
Yes.
tough as
Hmm.
having to live up to the expectations of the mother organization, the Filipinos. Siyempre, mga Filipinos, alam mo naman, they would think, ay, hindi mo na Philippines ang mananalo kasi pag Philippines ang nanalo, sabihin,
I
hometown decision, you know. But just the same, you gave it your best. You were in the top five. You were fourth runner up, and yeah, it was a tough batch actually.
was. I could agree.
It was a tough batch. Yung top three nyo doon.
I mean,
Top
actually backstage before coming like before announcing of winners, parang in my mind, whoever wins among the top five, deserving na lahat eh. Parang we were filtered up until the top five. So whoever was given the crowd, parang okay na. You're very
Ganun
happy.
daw, ganun talaga. Parang Miss Universe yan eh. Pag pumasok ka na sa top 5, anybody can win.
Yes.
So it's really hard. So there's this good, kumbaga dapat Lady Luck is with you somehow to pave the way for your victory. Thank you so much, JP. I'll talk to you in a bit. And I have to focus to the big brother of the house first, the kuya of the group, si Andrew, because he is the one who somehow, sabi nga nila, he very nearly won our first Mr. World title back in 2012. Diyos ko, kung alam mo lang, Andrew, back in 2012, I was really hoping, praying, because I want Andrew to win. I want Andrew to win. I want you to win because I want a Mr. World crown or title for the Philippines.
Sayang.
Yeah. Yun. Kumbaga, okay, bringing us back, kahit konti lang, to the competition back in 2012. Were you actually um, sensing that you will end up in the top three? Kumbaga, may mindset ka na ba like that? Going into the preliminaries, the different events, were you thinking na parang, okay, I think I have a good shot. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, can I take you back from when Miss Corey,
Yes.
Karina
Appointed
chose
you. Yeah.
Yeah, so back then in 2012, of course, we all know she had the Miss World franchise,
Yes.
and at that time, she'd only had the Mr. World franchise for 1 month pa lang at that
Mm-hmm.
time, and
Yes.
so there was no time to set up a pageant or a competition or whatever you want to call it, and so really no choice. She had to handpick someone. And initially, I wasn't like the first one she saw, and then we bumped into each other, and she knew I was playing rugby for the Volcanoes. I
Yes.
was fit, and there's a lot of sport in Mr. World. And literally a week before, she was like, "Please, Drew, come on, ikaw na." And I was like, "Oh, but I don't know. I haven't done this before. This is not my thing. I haven't, diba?" And we haven't really had much exposure or as a nation to male pageantry.
True.
There's always that kind of stigma about guys that do it, whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then 4 days before she came up, she said, "Look, it's in 4 days. It's in England. You're half English. Uh, do it. Here's your ticket. This is
Yes.
spending money." And I was like, "Okay, sold. I'll do it." And so at the time, my friends, I told them, "Hey, don't tell anyone I'm going, huh? Don't tell anyone. Just I'm gonna
Are you
go."
se- are you
Yeah,
saying,
I was serious.
Andrew, that
I was
Miss
serious. I was like,
Corey
"Don't tell
handed you the
anyone."
ticket, but you haven't
Yeah, I was like, "Pete, don't tell anyone because I don't want people to laugh at me, and when I get there, um, I do badly, and they're like, yeah, well, he wasn't prepared, he wasn't meant to do this, etc., etc." And then, bakit siya? Ang daming ganun, bakit si Andrew Wolf? Hindi naman, ano yan? Di ba bad boy yan? so, so I accepted. And then when I got to the airport, there was GMA, ABS, whoever else, cameras. And I was like, no, okay, it's in the news now. Everyone,
It's all
diba?
out.
It came out, pinalabas sa news. And so going to your question, I got there in Kent, England. There was about 60 guys, and they were all kind of celebrities in their own right in their country. We had like the Russian Ryan Seacrest, and we had Colombian Olympic pole vaulter, and then an Irish swimmer, and then I don't know, Peruvian movie star. So we had all different kinds of people. And I went there I wasn't expecting the competition to be so like intense and like good, And I came to the realization when I was there, okay, these guys mean business. So maybe I've got to step up. And so we started the competition. We did some of the activities because there's five categories. With mine there was five categories. So we started doing some of the what they call the fast track activities, and I started winning some. I ran the fitness test and the running, the football shootout competition, and then the multimedia because we had to make a presentation. So I was like, oh damn, I'm actually doing okay. I better try. I better try and win now because I actually stand it.
Yes.
Because when I got there, I saw the guys. I was like, these guys have 6-packs and 8-packs, and I had like
Mm-hmm.
my 2-pack. I wasn't fat, but I wasn't like ripped. Like a what do you call it, Adonis or anything. I was
Adonis.
for rugby, which is a lot of running and tackling, and as you can see in the photo there. So my fitness and my competitiveness from rugby took me forward through all the activities that we had to do. Sorry, during the competition, and it was about probably because we were competing for about say 20 days. It After about 5 6 days, I realized, OMG, I actually stand a chance. So I was never like, I'll be honest, I was never expecting anything. I was like, okay, I'll go there, I'll do this. I'll have my free vacation in the UK. I'm being totally honest here. I'll see my mom because my Filipino mom has been in the UK for 37 years, right? And I hadn't seen her for a long time. So this was perfect. Everything was in line. Do the competition, represent the Philippines, meet my mom. But there was no expectation. And even the people back here, the reporters, and probably some of your colleagues in the pageantry world were like,
Yes.
Wolf, wala. So yeah, and then history. The rest is history, and we got a first run-up award or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's it. That's kind of the expectations I had going in, and probably the expectations of a lot of people that knew I was doing this going into the
Ah,
competition. So yeah,
actually, before you went to Kent Aikland at the time, Andrew, I already knew that you will do well.
wow, thank you.
I could not yet say at that point that you will win Mr. World. But when you started winning those fast track events and the like, sabi ko, oh my,
Well,
the guy
I won
is,
I won the multimedia, but then I did well in the others. I was like
yes,
second, third. So that was the kind of, I got to a realization that I stand a chance, and so I actually pushed harder at that point. I kind of came in with this level of effort. I was like, okay, this is how much of me I'm gonna give. And then when I started to do well, I was like, okay, I'll go all in 120%. So
Yeah, because I was just thinking if you won Mr. World that year, and since Mr. World happens only every 2 years, and the following year we won our first Miss World via Megan Young,
oh
then
yes, yeah.
you could have been you could have been the travel buddy of Megan doing all the
Kaya nga,
charity
sayang yun
works
eh. Oo,
around the world.
naisip ko din po yun
Yeah,
na
because
oo, that we
kasi
could have been traveling buddies.
yeah, kasi nga when Megan Young won, I always see her with Mr. Colombia with Francisco Escobar. Sabi ko, my God, that could have been Andrew Wolf traveling with Megan all around the
Uh,
world.
but you know what?
Yeah,
No
but
regrets. No regrets. You know, even though we didn't quite get the crown that year, at least we represented the Philippines, well, and we kind of for Mr. World because I don't know about other pageants. I'm not too familiar with everything like other than Manhunt with June and then some of the other guys today.
mhm,
Um, I knew that we hadn't got that far in this particular pageant, Mr. World. So it was kind of like, okay, we kind of put Philippines on the map, and then Megan took it all the way,
yes,
right? And so it really, and obviously the girls in Miss Universe, they're already doing well every year. So it was great to kind of bring the male pageantry to at
yeah,
least close to the level of. It's
very,
never gonna
very
have
close, very
Yeah,
close.
it's never gonna have the same audience, of course, but at
Yes,
least if you actually do it, watch the footage and it's on YouTube, my year, there's a six
yes,
part show on YouTube. You'll actually see what we went through, and the competition's actually really fun. And even my rugby, my teammates in the volcanoes, they were like, when they watched it, they were like, "That's pretty tough." The things we had to do were pretty tough, and they
true.
actually they were really supportive as opposed to saying, "What are you doing, Drew? What are you doing?" They were like, "Man, awesome." So yeah, actually, thankful to the lahat ng supporters ng pageantry and sa Philippines na talagang they gave me support during that time. So yeah,
Parang ano ka na rin, di ba?
thank you for bringing them back because I don't usually think about it.
Yeah. Pero
Diba?
feeling vindicated ka rin, hindi ba, Andrew? Because you
Um,
went there na parang, okay, let's see what will happen with this. But
oh,
somehow you overshot your performance.
exceeded expectations.
Oo, talagang lalampasan. So, kumbaga, during finals night, we were really hoping na, my God, I think Andrew will get this one. I think Andrew will get. We were chanting along with my friends. We will get
Yeah,
Mr. World. We will get Mr. World. Tapos when you were called as first runner up, we were also very happy because sa Miss World or Mr. World for that matter, sobrang importante kasi nung Mr. World placer tsaka yung talagang immediate na first runner up because those are the only two positions wherein if the winner is unable to fulfill his duties, automatically yung runner
yeah,
up will take over. And
yeah,
COVID haircut or none, then you are still the closest
yeah.
thing to a Mr. World.
Looking back at those photos, it's like, wow, I actually had nice black hair. Wala pang uban.
I think our viewers are having a good time watching you because they're seeing a side of Andrew a side of you that they have never really
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
much
yeah, yeah.
before.
I just
So
want
and
to
I like
shout out
that.
everyone on the chat. Hi, Andrew, Vic. Hi, Vic, Lee. Hi, guys. Keep watching. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Okay. Andrew, I'll talk first to the others, and then
Cool.
later we will do a group discussion for our pageant Q&A. Pageant Q&A. Okay. Georgie. Okay. Nariyan ka pa ba, George? Then
Hello.
let's talk about India when you went there. Alam ko ang hirap,
Struggle.
struggle ng papunta kayo ng India, dumating kayo sa India, pumunta sa hotel and everything, yung pang-araw-araw na competition. Pero kailan mo naramdaman during your competition na medyo malakas ang laban natin dito. Mukhang kakayanin ko to.
Well, sa ano tito, sa
Ano?
Philippines pa lang kasi, parang ang lakas na natin sa social media. Siyempre, parang ano tayo eh.
Mhm.
Solid yung fan base natin dito sa Philippines. Then, almost 6 months kasi yung preparation ko noon bago ako lumaban sa India. Tapos, parang dito pa lang sa Philippines, ramdam ko na kaagad na meron tayong laban. Then, nung pumunta ako doon sa India, ako kasi yung naunang pumunta dun sa location namin. So parang dun pa lang, nagkaroon na kaagad ng barrier. Kasi parang sama-sama na kaagad sila. Tapos,
Okay.
ganun yung nangyari. Tapos, everyday, nung nagkaroon na ng competition, for almost 1 week ata yun, ganun katagal, everyday, binibigay ko kasi talaga yung best ko. Simula sa paglabas sa location namin, talagang outfit ako para ma-impress yung organizer na maramdaman nila na sineryoso ko talaga yung pageant. And yung 6 months preparation ko kasi talaga dito sa Philippines before ako lumaban is talagang tinutukan ko talaga dito. Then, nung nandun ako sa India, yung record kasi natin ng Philippines is pataas talaga eh, di ba?
True.
Simula kay Andre Biondo. Kaya yung pressure pa lang sa akin doon, talagang sabi ko, dapat this time manalo na talaga tayo. Kaya sabi ko, ito na talaga yung time para seryosohin ko kasi hindi naman ibibigay sa akin to kung hindi talaga para sa akin. So, ayun. Tsaka, malaking tulong din kasi Tito Norman yung pagsali ko ng Hanas. Kasi, parang hindi talaga ako into pageant. Talagang ramdam mo yung Tito Norman, di ba? Nung sumali ako ng Hanas, sobrang shock talaga.
Dancer. Puro sayaw. Oo.
Shock ako. Wala akong kaalam-alam sa swimwear competition. Yan, wala akong, talagang alam mo yun, baguhan na baguhan.
Totoo
Buti na lang,
yun.
after kong manalo ng Hanas, 6 months, mahaba-habang talagang preparation ko. So, ayun, sobrang saya ng experience ko. Ang dami kong napuntahang bansa na hindi ko in-expect na pupuntahan ko, yung mga activities, then mga fashion show industry na involved ako sa mga sikat na designers. Sobrang laking tulong talaga ng pageantry sa akin. Until now, parang ang dami kong connection sa designers, mga models, and projects kahit pa paano. So, ayan.
Pero hindi ka ba nahihirapan, George, na bumalik doon sa normal mong buhay? Dahil nakasanayan mo na yung buhay as a pageant king, na napaligiran ka ng tao palagi, na nasa fashion show ka, nag-judge ka, iniidolo ka. Pero pag nasa bahay ka, dapat ikaw lang yung normal na George. Hindi ka ba nahihirapan ibalik ang sarili mo dun sa...
Hindi naman dito kasi hindi na siguro 2 years na almost parang nakasanayan ko na lang din. And hindi ko naman kasi tinitingnan ang sarili ko na sobrang taas na sobrang sikat na tao eh. Kumbaga parang yung pangarap ko kasi to before, so sinabi ko na sa sarili ko na if ever maging pageant king or sumikat man someday, sanay, alam mo yun, parang nasa process. Hindi ako yung laki ulo dapat agad. Kasi baka pumulakda ka agad ako pababa. And at the same time, gusto ko kasing maraming ma-inspire na tao na wag mong ilalagay yung sikat sa ulo mo. Dapat i-control mo at ikaw pa rin sa sarili mo. So, ayun.
Wow, talagang pang winner ang sagot niya doon, ano? Pero actually natuwa ako because all of you the 5 na guests ko this afternoon, wala naman sa inyong lumaki ang ulo actually eh. Kumbaga, puro kayo mga ano pa rin. You've stayed true to yourself, feet on the ground. Kaya natutuwa ako doon sa ganung proseso. So, babalikan kita, George. I'll just talk to the others first one-one, tapos saka tayo mag-group discussion later.
Okay, tita.
Yeah. Okay, balik tayo kay JB. Ewan ko ba pag si JB kausap ko kasi ang memories ko very fresh pa rin talaga about Mr. World 2019 dahil talagang I was witness to the competition from start to finish. JB, ikaw, as a host delegate, syempre the pressure was double on you. Host delegate,
Yes,
Mr.
sobra.
Philippines pa. Anong mindset mo? How did you psych yourself up for that challenge of being host delegate, Mr. Philippines pa, tapos being the most hospitable candidate there? Iba-ibang mga bansa yun. Tell us about it, JB.
So yun nga, actually hindi ko na lang siya focus na being the host delegate kasi talaga yung pressure niya is iba. So ang ginawa ko na lang there talaga is focus na lang is to be on myself and just enjoy. In-enjoy ko na lang, nakipag-friends talaga ako sa lahat, nakipag-friends ako sa buong organization, and tinatry ko kasi na hindi maging plastic kasi parang even sila yun ang pinasabi nila, ayaw lang daw nila ng plastic, nafe-feel daw nila kapag fake yung isang tao. So ako naman, so far wala naman ako napakita na fake ako sa kanila ng time na yun. Talagang enjoy kong enjoy kahit nandyan lahat ng pressure sa atin. Alam naman natin na kada fast track noon, ang dami mag-message sa akin, ano nangyari, ba't hindi ka nakaganito, ba't hindi lumaban. Kahit, to be honest, sobrang hirap ng buong event. Kung isipin mo lang, mukha siyang madali titignan, pero pag nandun ka na, napakahirap. Siyempre, 70 plus delegates kami, lahat yan is physically fit, lahat yan talagang mentally fit. So, yun, I did my best naman. So, inaalis ko yung isip ko talaga na it's a competition. Talagang inisip ko naman, I'm there to enjoy na lang din. Pero side by side is to win, syempre.
Yeah, JB, shout out ka daw sa fan mo, kay Shane Garcia. Nakita ko lang bigla
Sorry, hindi ko
dumaan sa
makita yung chat box eh.
Oo, and pala kaya nire-relay ko na lang sa'yo. Pero alam mo, JB, kasi lahat ng sinabi mo, actually, I will agree
Hello,
to
Jen
that because,
Morales.
yan, kaya ano ka
Ayan.
talaga, maraming may crush sa'yo, JB. Oo, ako na naman hindi mo pinapansin eh. Nakakaloka. Kaya yung mga sinabi mo lahat kanina, JB, I would 100% agree to that kasi nga, na-observe ko talaga first hand yung lahat ng mga tatang hirap nyo na pinagdaanan during all the preliminary events and fast track events of the competition. Pero were you really entertaining thoughts of going all the way for the Mr. World title then, or was there a point in the competition wherein you said, "Oh, I think I'll just try to give my best. If my best won't take me to the title, then maybe that is what destiny has uh, given to me." Something like that. Anong masasabi mo doon, JB?
Well, ako kasi meron talaga akong mindset sa akin na whatever I'm in it to win it. So, everything na pasukin ko talaga is siniseryoso ko. Pero kasi, tanggap ko naman sa sarili ko, athlete ako eh. So, alam ko naman na pag hindi talaga para sa'yo, hindi para sa'yo. If it's not your time, it's not your time. Pero doesn't mean na it's gonna take you down, na may inis ka. Kaya, nasa mindset ko pa rin talaga is to enjoy. Kasi kahit naman mangyari, win or lose, ang importante kasi doon is nag-enjoy ka ba sa experience mo? Is it a good experience for you? Kasi ang pangit naman ng masyado kang nakaset sa mananalo ka tapos hindi ka mananalo. Sobrang bigat nun sa pakiramdam eh. So yun ang kailangan mo talagang alisin eh. Sanay kasi ako even way back when I was in high school, I represented the Philippines then through baseball. Kung saan bansa kami nakapunta, parang ganun eh. Parang bumalik lang sa akin yung memories na yun na makikita mo yung mga ibang bansa. Pag nandudong ka, hindi mo isipin na kalaban mo sila eh. Isipin mo kaibigan mo sila. Parang yun yung mas masayang feeling na parang magkakaroon ka ng brotherhood na bago, na kung sino-sino makikilala mo. So talagang yung experience yung mas iti-treasure mo kasi hindi naman talaga yung crown eh.
Anong part ng competition ang pinaka-memorable sa'yo? Or not necessarily competition, kahit event lang. Kahit event lang. Hindi mo talaga, yung kumbaga, you will look back either with humor or fondness.
Actually,
Ako
wala
marami,
akong
pero ikaw
ma-pinpoint
marami
na...
ka.
Ako kasi wala akong pinaka-ma-pinpoint eh. Kasi talagang lahat siya exciting for us eh. Lalo na pag ikaw yung nandoon eh. Na everyday, hindi mo alam. Actually, kahit yung simpleng patayan na rehearsals namin, sobrang nakaka-excite siya. Kasi pag nandoon kami, nag-enjoy kami. Lahat, even yung sports fast track namin, yung extreme fast track namin, top modeling, lahat yung para lang kaming ang sabi nga ng organization sa amin, para lang daw kami mga bata na titigas ng mga ulo.
True.
So kung talaga ipipinpoint ko, wala akong masasabing pinaka-favorite dahil parang lahat same way eh. Alam ko ang hirap sigurong maniwala na posibleng walang favorite to eh. Pero ganun talaga yung nararamdaman eh.
Ako, may favorite ako palagi doon. Talagang yung extreme challenge nyo. Pero more than that, ang pinaka-favorite ko sa lahat ng events nyo noon was when we went to Tuloy Foundation. Dahil yun ang talagang nakita ko yung soft side ng lahat. Being with the children, with the kids, with Father Rocky and all. Kapag doon ako tuwa talaga because parang yun ang pinaka-dramatic na ano. Tapos biglang nung finals nyo, may grand entrance pa sila Father Rocky tsaka yung mga bata. So lalo pang naging mas touching. Pero
Actually, nabinado ko dun na I'm the host delegate pero hindi ako masyadong familiar sa Tuloy Foundation. Doon ko lang din nalaman nung time na yon. And talagang, alam mo, matatouch ka talaga pag nakita mo sila.
True.
Nung kumanta sila, talagang, alam mo, may iiyak ka na hindi mo maintindihan din. Talagang, matatouch ka sa kanila. Hindi ka sa naaawa sa kanila, natutuwa ka eh. Yun yung feeling ko.
Yes.
Na matutuwa ka sa mga bata eh.
Totoo yun. And I think we were able to capture that in photos and in short videos because we really saw yung side nyo na in front of these kids and when they were singing, talagang mahirap na lang magkwento na sobrang daming mga sidelights talaga. Pero talagang it was very memorable. Pero nung finals night mismo, JB, and when you were called na doon sa final
Final 12?
Final 12 na, ano na ang sumasagi sa mind mo at the time na nasa final 12 ka na?
Nakapasok sa isip ko talaga, this is it. Ito na talaga. Moment of truth na. If it's for me, pasok siguro ako sa top 5. If hindi, talagang it's for someone else. Siyempre, kanya-kanyang destiny yan kung talagang para kanina by the specific time eh. So, yun na, siyempre, praying ako nung time na yon and also sa mga kasama ko noon na habang nag-uusap kami, mafe-feel mo talaga yung huddle namin noon na parang nagtitinginan kami lahat sa isa't isa na parang okay, eto na talaga guys. Lahat tayo support sa isa't isa. Wala tayong wini-wish na hindi makapasok sa top 5 na yun.
True. Pero you can imagine nung nasa Smart Araneta Coliseum noon, JB, ako ang pressured. Alam mo kung bakit? To my right are the supporters of Mr. South Africa. To my left are the supporters of Mr. Mexico. In front of me are the relatives of Mr. England. So sabi ko, my God, ano ba to? If I cheer for one, napapagitnaan talaga. Kaya nakakaloka talaga yun. Pero ang saya-saya ko talaga noon because in that competition, I was able to see all of you talaga. I think I said this earlier. The human side of the Mr. World candidates. And that makes for a very, very, very memorable coverage of Mr. World. Kumbaga as host delegate.
Like what you said nga kanina, you were there from start to end. Ultimo kahit yung mga moments na kumakain lang kami, nandoon kayo lahat. So talagang lahat talaga na experience nyo.
True. And kumbaga, yung mga biro-biro lang naman yung mga crush, yung mga ganoon. Pero somehow, natutuwa lang ako looking back at all. Kasi hanggang ngayon updated eh. Kumbaga, ilang kayong friends ko sa Facebook, Diyos ko JB, halos lahat, nakakaloka. Kaya talagang...
Hanggang ngayon nga, buhay na buhay yung group chat namin eh.
Kaya, because it's, on that, pag nakikita mo yung developments na iba yung mga ginagawa nila, and then, tsaka lalo na ngayong quarantine, syempre, you have to really stay at home and update each other kung ano mga nangyayari, di ba?
Actually, nung start ng quarantine, karamihan pa sa amin, nag-video call pa, talagang kamustahan. Yun yung nakakatuwa talaga na parang makikita mo pag may isang friend namin nag-travel sa different country, meron na nag-host sa kanya, pag nakita sila in another country, ang saya-saya na kahit ng mini reunion, send agad sa group chat. So, ang saya lang nung nabuo talaga na friendship na yun. Actually, brotherhood ang nabuo.
So, as Mr. World Asia Pacific 2019, kung wala nga lang itong pandemic na to, sana nagkaroon ka ng opportunity to travel at least in the region, in Asia, para at
Mm-hmm.
least to really um, spread the advocacy or the message of Mr. World to other countries, hindi ba? Pero just the same,
Mm-hmm.
pag tinitingnan, my God, pag tinitingnan ko talaga yung mukha ni JB, nakaka-hypnotize ako, gatuhan nito talaga. Oh my God. Jody
Nahiya
Banks
nga ako,
talaga.
nakasombrero ko. Sobrang haba kasi ng hair ko.
Kung mahaba
Hindi ko
yung
na
hair mo,
maayos.
kung mahaba yung hair mo, yung iba nga nag-ponytail pa. Pero don't, okay lang yun. Basta Jody Banks pa rin yung nakikita ko talaga.
Sanay kasi
Yeah.
ako very clean cut eh.
Ako kasi hindi buhok mo tinitingnan ko every time I look at you. Yung mata mo tinitingnan ko, JD. Dahil yung mata mo, oo, yan. Okay, yan. Nakakaloka ka na yan. JB, I'll talk first to the two others. Tapos mamaya
Sure.
mag-reshoot tayo ng group ano natin. Now,
Sure.
friends, let's go to Eric. Kay Eric na ginoong Pilipinas natin for Mr. Universe Tourism. Eric! Ano ba, Eric? Bumalik ka na. Ang connection mo, Eric. I-check mo ang connection mo. Eric, narinig mo ba ako? Pag wala pa si Eric, let's talk to JP first. Kay JP muna. Si JP muna kung usapin natin because ay, para pang ano eh. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, JP, parang feeling ko dito, para ako, ano, ibang, mo lima kayong lalaki na para ako talaga na ano,
Do
na,
you feel it right now, Tito?
na ano ko, na, para ako na stress na limang kings talaga ang kasama ko. But anyways, anong sabi mo kanina, JP, no? Because you used to be flying with Paul, but
Yeah.
now, before the project management ang ginagawa mo. Yeah, and how did yung work mo sa project management, paano siya na-affect ng COVID, ng quarantine?
Actually, Tito, tawag dito, when I was competing for Mr. sa Pilipinas, that was what I did nung candidate pa ako ng Mr. sa Pilipinas. My company back then, they were very supportive sa, ano, sa competition. So like, I didn't have a hard time asking for leaves. I didn't have a hard time, seeking for approval kasi they were actually, campaigning for me para talaga that I'm gonna win. And then after that, I had to leave the company kasi nga I was airing double time for Man of the World. And also I was doing multiple jobs. Like I was doing modeling jobs, I was doing campaigning, traveling all over the Philippines. I was privileged to do that. And then etong new job that I have right now is actually pretty very recent kasi parang I can see that the events industry and the opportunities for us models, they're not going to be the same as it used to be. And even pre-COVID pa, I was already like trying to come up with ideas on how I am trying to set my career. Kasi for me, the pageant, parang that was just uh, that's just a thing for me. Like even in the long run, if I'm still known, or I can still do activities related to pageant, I can still do that. Pero like right now, I'm actually on the process of trying to iron out the rest of my career. So if you ask me how did it affect, parang I'm very much privileged to have been, to be in an organization na parang despite the pandemic or despite everything, they're also very, very supportive and they embraced me. Kasi nakuha ko tong organization na to just during the COVID lang dito.
Yes. Curious lang ako, JP. Before you entered pageantry and looking back now, is this what you expected na
What,
mangyari sa'yo?
what do you mean?
I mean, doing well in your national competition, doing well as well in your international competition. Was that what you had in mind going into pageantry?
No, kasi like looking back, let's say 2012, I actually witnessed yung kay Andrew. Like I watched that pageant. Parang that
Mhm.
was just something na okay, the pageant people and all that. Because I didn't really fit the mold. I didn't necessarily fit the mold because before like I was too chubby and then I got too skinny. So parang I don't really have like I'm not the prototype for model for male pageant. And then fast forward to when I was competing, or before I was competing, people had already offered, especially si Sir Young, na parang you can join pageants and all that. So I actually was just there because I wanted to share a story. Like I just wanted to, to elevate something that I actually believed in, which is yung mga advocacies ko nga. So, looking back, it was hard. It's because there were a lot. I receive a lot of backlashes. I receive a lot of what do you call this? I hear naysayers and all that. So at the end of the day, I was just like, bahala na. I'm just gonna do my best as long as I have done my part, win or lose, okay na ako dito. And then I ended up winning in a pageant where there's only two crowns, like Man of the World Philippines and Mr. International. And out of that, it was a lot harder. The previous batches, there were like what, five, six crowns. So parang kahit sang crown ka, okay ka dun eh. Because like you're still gonna end up competing in the international competition. But like this time, I was competing against repeaters. So like yung mga from previous editions were probably most prepared this time around and all that. So parang I was just, you know, putting all of my efforts into action na parang at the end of the day, bahala na. And then, you know, I was just so lucky enough to win crown, Man of the World Philippines. And then fast forward nung Man of the World International naman na, the World Edition, I was to be honest, I was pretty much confident that we were gonna get it this time around. Like I was, because the support was really, really overwhelming. Like people all over the Philippines were sending me best wishes and regards, and like, I received a lot of support from all organizations too. So parang, and of course at this moment, parang I feel that I'm more prepared than ever. Like I really worked out a lot. I really spent majority of the time, learning about our culture, learning about what the organization is looking for, and all that. And especially that ano tayo, the host delegate ako, so I have to be very aware or very familiar with everything that they ask. Para naman at least, I'm not only here as a competitor, but also here as like what their tour guide and all that. So, ayun, I did not expect all of this at all. Like, the embrace or the what do you call this, the reception of a lot of people. But then again, I can't complain. Like people have been very, very nice, and like pageant organizations have embraced me as well. And I've traveled all over the Philippines, so I'm very, very happy. Di ako nag-regret na I said yes to the first offer.
And that's very good to hear from you, JP, because somehow some people have this notion na they want to join pageants na parang ano lang, parang perya-perya. Yung mga parang, okay, try natin lang, pero actually, even if he did well or did not do well in that pageant, parang he just leaves everything behind and as if nothing had happened. Kasi parang you have been given a platform eh. Kaya sabi nga dito ni Drew Francisco, comment niya sa'yo, tawag daw sa'yo ng pageant media, the Catriona of Philippine male pageants talaga. Because ayun nga daw, pag sumasagot ka sa Q&A, parang ano ka talaga, thinking on your feet and delivering something that other people didn't imagine possible. Parang ganoon na pag-deliver, no?
And actually, Tito, I would also like to parang give, or I would also like to say na parang pageants or this entire journey has also given me the platform to train or teach children like all over the Philippines. So like to speak well or like to have a better personality in order for them to succeed in whatever causes that they try to pursue. Because I'd like to say that pageant is not really everything. A lot of people might not have luck in the pageant world, but they have better chances outside. So I'd like to give them the same opportunity na pwede nilang i-apply some endeavors nila.
Hindi, nakakatuwa. You got into ano rin pala, teaching, coaching,
Yes.
guiding young minds, no?
Yes.
How did that how did that opportunity open up to you?
Well, prior to joining Mr. So Pilipinas, I've always been very active now with mental health and discussions on mental health, like, championing the discussions one at a time because I feel like that's very important. So I've been to schools, I've been to workplaces, I was invited by several organizations to speak about that. And then that moment when I'm able to penetrate na the school or the academe, parang it was also at the same time na this could also be an opportunity for me to teach personality development to children. So, I'm trying to come up with my own module so that I'm able to, make it as fun as possible, but at the same time, let them learn.
True. Kids are not the easiest students,
I,
actually.
I get
You
that.
need to be very, very creative in order
True.
to achieve that. Okay. I'll be back with you, JP. Kailangan ko lang kausapin itong si Eric. Kung nagbalik na, ang kanyang signal kanina yata. Eric,
Tito.
are you back with us, Eric? Eric? Eric, parang audio mo lang naririnig ko, Eric. Ay, era siya. Bumabalik na siya. Hi,
Hi,
Eric.
Tito. I'm back again. Sorry, I was having some connection issues
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, Eric, when you won Ginoong Pilipinas Cebu last year, hands down, talagang alam na namin na, ito na yung mananalo. Parang ganun yung sa'yo, parang that's a story of your life. You join a competition and people are already saying that the victory is a lock for you. Di ba? Yung parang, if I were in your place, I'd feel so pressured because I need to live up to the expectations of many. How do you psych yourself up pag mga ganoon ng people saying that this title is yours to lose, so you had better be better than good in order to really ensure that you have it in the bag. What's running inside your head?
Yes, Tito, like there were a lot of people who were saying like, "Oh, Eric, you're probably gonna win this already, and good luck in Manila." And also, my fellow candidates were saying that stuff. And for me, it didn't seem that way because I did want to do my best and I did want to win. But it was also for me about having fun in the competition and also
Eric, I think
to
we lost.
enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah, you lose sight of trying to enjoy the competition. It's not about just enjoying the competition, but if you're so worked up about, you know, meeting everyone's expectations, I think the best thing is to meet your own expectations. Just do your best, and I think for myself, that's what I did. I just did my best. I tried to get my key components wherein I know that I could speak well, so I thought I'm gonna use that to my best ability. I'm gonna answer as well as I could. I have to awe the judges, and I also have to like help my fellow candidates find the confidence within themselves because when people start saying that someone's gonna win already and ahead of time, it discourages everyone else, and you don't want to have a competition wherein they already know you're gonna win because for me it's not a good feeling knowing that you're being pushed up while others are being pushed down. So it's always about pushing them as much as you push yourself and yet still trying to do your best so that you can win.
Natutuwa ako. Every time you answer, Eric, parang there is this very tactful and diplomatic way of delivering your reply, no? Ah, talagang innate sa iyo yung mga pagsagot-sagot na ganyan, nakakatuwa. Now, I think it's time that we talk as a group now. I hope si Direk can put yung screen na yung kaming anim talaga because we will do our pageant Q&A starting now para at least I asked some of my pageant friends to send me questions specifically directed to each one of you, and then you will answer it. Pero please do not answer it na parang pageant. Kumbaga, answer it like an ordinary human being, as how you would answer it in this discussion. Ang pangit naman kung pressure there. So who wants to go first? Can you please raise your hand? Who wants to go first? Ay, ako na pipili.
The Tito of the group will go
Okay,
first.
Kuya Andrew will go first. Andrew, this question was sent to you. I won't name the people who sent those questions. The question for you, Andrew, is this. As one of the kings in Philippine pageantry, would you say that you are a good role model? Would you say that you are a good role model? Okay.
Is that the question? That's
That
it.
is the question. That is the question.
uh, do I have to answer with a reason?
Of course. My God.
Bakit?
Papakalbo
Maybe.
kita siya. Oh.
Well, um, I think I became a good role model. I maybe wasn't necessarily a great role model leading up to it, but afterwards, I kind of molded myself to become a role model. So yeah, possibly, but it's subjective. Someone else might find me a role model, and some other people might find me a joke. So it's really subjective. Thank you for that question.
Who finds you a joke? I never looked at it as a joke. Yeah. Except if you're hosting a pageant, of course. That's a totally different reason altogether. Am I going to do this by seniority or by, Okay, next question.
By length of hair. So I'm the
My
shortest.
God,
Next
so
will be
all of them have long hair. My
Kuya.
God. George, I will
Baby,
ask you
baby
next.
King.
Ha? Ito, madali lang itong question mo, George.
Okay, dito.
George, your question is this. What was the hardest sacrifice you had to make before you went to compete in India? What was the hardest sacrifice you had to make before you competed in India?
Siguro Tito, isa sa pinakamahirap is about sa relationship. Medyo
Okay,
ano
tell
siya.
us about it. Sige. No, not in detail, pero somehow lang
Ah,
para.
parang nagsabay kasi yung syempre nagkakaroon ako ng mga trabaho. Nakakatrabaho ko ng mga ganitong mga beauty queens. So parang naging big deal yun. So, ayun. Medyo naging mahirap lang.
So are you saying na sa lahat na nakakatrabaho mo sa mga pageant judging mo na beauty queens na involved ka?
Hindi, parang
What?
may selo. Grabe.
Nakakaloka na involved daw. Parang hindi ko alam. My
Hindi,
God.
dito. Para meron lang ganon. Then, of course, sa family kasi focus pa rin ako sa kanila, sumuport. Then, ganon. Parang nagsabay-sabay kasi.
Okay. Now, next. This is a question for JB. JB, parang nagda-drive siya habang sumasagot. JB, here's your question.
Nakapark ako sa tabi.
Talented.
Okay. Your question is this. When you entered pageantry, what did you honestly want to get out of it? When you entered pageantry, what did you honestly want to get out of it? Ay, seryoso
50,000
talaga.
US
Okay.
Okay.
Well, aminado naman ako, even sa mga first interviews ko nung national pageant is, I just wanted to try something new. I was already into acting and modeling before then, so siguro dagdag konting exposure din. And yun nga, pero pinaka main goal is to try something new dahil kakatapos ko lang din naman college, I'm not doing anything, wala pa akong stable, wala pa akong job or ano. So, because pageant is, why not? It's very big in the Philippines, so let's see if it's for me. Kasi how will you know if something is for you kung hindi mo naman subukan? So, yun.
Wow,
Nasagot ko ba?
Oo, nasagot mo. Wala na akong masabi. Parang pinapanood lang kita sa teleserye. Nakakatuwa. Kay Eric, this question is for you. Ito talaga. Itong pang Catriona Gray na question. Eric,
All right.
Eric, listen.
I'm
Do
listening
you
to
think this question is actually usually asked sa mga female beauty pageants, but I reversed it. Do you think that male pageantry objectifies men? Why or why not? Do you think that male pageantry objectifies men? Why or why not?
Well, Tito, like if you look at female pageantry, like there's always going to be a part. It's not necessarily about it that it objectifies women, for example, but that there are some people out there that do objectify those women. And I think it's the same way for men as well. It's not necessarily that we're being objectified or that pageantry or male pageantry objectifies women, but in a sense, like um, we're out there to show our physical capabilities and also our mental capabilities. And if there are those out there, people who try to objectify us, try to say that we're trying to flaunt something, for example, then we do become objectified. And I think that's just a byproduct of pageantry itself. It's not caused by pageantry, but of course, pageantry has an audience, and there are those in the audience that do tend to do those kind of things. So that's my opinion on it, at least.
Talaga naman, sumagot na po ang dalawang katriyon ang sumasagot dito ngayon. Nakakaloka. Okay, JP, this is your question. What is that one thing that we would not know about you just by looking at you? What is that one thing that we would not know about you just by looking at you?
I think one of the things that you would not know about me is contrary to what you would see the first thing in me. Like people see me as very intimidating and all that, but you know what? One thing that don't know people don't know about me is like I'm very very emotional. Dito. Like I kind of feel things times like three times or four times than other people because I am very like sympathetic. I am very you know I just have these things of like feeling things not to the point na it's unnecessary, to the point na even if I do not really have to feel those things, and even if like it's not gonna affect my life one way or another, I just feel these things and it gets me frustrated. So I think yun. That's why I'm very very close to uh, vulnerable people. I'm very close to like helping yung mga street children and all that. Kasi my friends would tell me na, kayaan mo na lang yan. But like after I do these activities, parang at the end of the day, dinadala ko pa din siya. Like parang, why do they have to suffer and all that? I mean, do you get my point? You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. And in connection to that, there is a question here from one of our viewers. Christian is asking, "Hello, JP. What is your advice to those who suffer with depression?"
Okay.
Depression.
So, this leads me to that question you previous answered with Tito na parang since I feel things more than the usual, parang that actually has caused me my depression and anxiety. So, if um, if you people are experiencing depression and all that, one thing that I would like to say is also one thing that has helped me survive is like you take one day at a time. My mantra before is that tomorrow is gonna be okay. Tomorrow is gonna be okay. So if tomorrow isn't okay, then tomorrow is gonna be okay until that tomorrow is going to be today, and that's going to be okay. And also, don't be too hard on yourself because you're not gonna win this battle alone. You need to reach out to people. You need to open up, and you need to, have your you need to say your truth to others so that they can help you. Because depression and anxiety is not really easy. It's not just being sad. It's not just being frustrated in a lot of things. It has a deeper meaning than just that. So I hope you guys learn to accept it when you have it and try to open up to people and seek for help.
Thank you, JP. JB, bigla ko may naisip na question for you, JB. Since I met all your fellow candidates during Mr. World last year,
Mm-hmm.
who among them you wish mong sana siya na lang yung nanalo pero alam mo na parang hindi siya favorites talaga. Kasi alam mo naman habang nag-progress ang competition, they become more obvious. The ones that everyone likes, the ones the organizers would like. Pero sino yung parang underdog sa'yo na deserving talaga maging Mr. World? Aside from yourself, of course.
Hindi ko na masabi kung sino pinaka-underdog kasi talaga. Syempre meron akong para sa akin talagang deserving from one of our friends, from one of the candidates. Syempre, ang sa akin isang gusto ko talagang nanalo is si South Africa.
Si Doc. Si
Yes.
Doc.
Si Doc, yes, Doc Fez. And
Oo.
si Doc Fez kasi naging very close kami compared din sa others. He's one of the few na talaga naging very, very close ko.
Oo. Close ko rin siya,
Ayun.
JB. Oo, naging close ko rin.
Sobrang bait
Oo.
niya. Sobrang bait ni Doc.
Sobrang bait niya, doktor pa, mabait pa. Yeah. Andrew!
Yes.
Andrew! You said that
Yeah.
you are in Manila now because, well, the business kasi that you have, ay,
Yeah.
teka
We're
muna,
in the.
may question na pumasok. May pumasok na
Yes, I
question
see
for you,
Alexa here.
Andrew. From Alexa, I just want to ask your thoughts on pageants. Now, throwing challenging questions which are polarizing and very political. Nakakalok ang
Well,
question. Talagang
what,
bagay na
well,
bagay
what's
sa iyo,
well,
Andrew.
well, with regards to that, of course, in male pageantry, if we want to compete with the female categories, we have to up the game, especially with regards to questioning. But in my opinion, I don't think it should be too political. I think they should direct the questions towards the advocacies of the particular pageant or the candidates themselves, but not get political because we're not in the game of politics. We're in the game of being inspirational and sending a message out there. So I think we should avoid political tendencies because you're always going to upset one party or one side of the spectrum when you bring politics into anything.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And of course, I want Eric to answer that question too. Eric, ano ang comment mo about pageant questions being too polarizing or too political?
I was actually thinking along with Andrew about that, Tito, and it's like, um, you join a pageant because what you expect in Q&A is something related to advocacy or problems in the world, and then when people start talking about politics, it's we join a pageant, not an election, and then you don't know who your the judges support. You don't know who in the crowd you might offend by your political views. And of course, in pageantry, you try to stay politically neutral, anyways, because you tend to become a figure to someone. So those questions can be kind of tricky. But also, pageantry can have some difficult questions, and it's not necessarily the question that you should be scared of, but it's the answer that you should be scared of. What you answer is what can really make the difference. So that's my view on that, Tito.
Thank you, Eric. Meron tayong question from Andrea. Anybody can answer daw. What have you guys been doing this past few days amidst the crisis? Ano daw ang pinagkakaabalahan nyo amidst the crisis? George, pasagutin muna kita. Ikaw, ano pinagkakabalahan mo amidst the crisis? Audio mo, George. Wala kang audio.
Ay, Tito, ayan, okay. So, ayun.
Ano ang pinagkakabalahan mo?
Pinakatinututukan ko ngayon, Tito Norman, is workout kasi meron akong endorsement na bago ngayon. And kailangan kong tutukan yung katawan kasi may malapit ng pictorial. And gumagawa ko ng self-project ko ng painting para after COVID is may benta ko siya. Laking tulong na rin yun for me and my family as well. And nag-start din ako mag-online business para makatulong kahit paano kasi sobrang zero talaga ngayon ng mga racket and events. Yun.
Sinabi mo pa. Diyos ko, Lord. Eto ha. Andrew, someone is asking, I hope you don't mind daw. Would you like to answer that? Or ilang taon ka na daw, Andrew?
35. I look 45, but I'm 35. And I turned 35 on the 13th of July. So, happy birthday to me.
I belated pala sa'yo, Kuya Andrew.
Thank you.
My
Happy
God,
birthday.
kung 35 ka pala, 37 lang ako. Ganoon. JP, ito, may question na pumasok naman. Kayo. JP, what do you like most about yourself and why?
I think it would be my personality. Like I tend to magnet people around me. Like I can be so friendly, I can be so warm around people, and that has led me to, you know, gain a lot of friends. So I think that's it, Tito. I think that's always something that I also share to a lot of people, that you may not be the, prettiest or the most handsome person in the room, but when you have that star quality of a personality, that would take you a long way. That would get you a long way. So I think it's my personality, and I'd like to keep it bubbly always.
Thank you for that, JP. JB, may question ka dito. JB, kasi daw, ang
Yes.
image mo daw is social. Parang alta na alta daw ang dating mo.
Hala.
Now, have you experienced criticism daw for competing in pageantry? And if yes, how did you handle it?
Sorry.
Okay.
Wait,
So,
sorry. Ano yung question?
the premise is that yung image mo daw is parang upscale, parang high-end ang image mo, no?
Okay.
So, have you experienced criticism for competing in pageantry? If so, how did you handle it?
Wait, crisis during the pageant?
No.
Yun ba?
Were you criticized? Were you
I didn't
criticized?
experience any.
Criticisms.
Oh, criticize. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sa akin, sobrang dami. Of course, talagang lahat ng tao criticizes me. A lot of negative, positive also. Pero kasi sa akin, lumaki kasi ako ng parang doesn't really care what other people think. I do what I want to do and I enjoy what I want to do. So, kung susuportahan mo ako sa gusto ko, then that's good. Kung hindi mo ako susuportahan sa gusto ko, and I don't really care that much. Basta gawin ko yung gusto ko, that's what's important to me. Kung makatulong ako, if it's good for me, it's good for me. If hindi mo ko kayang support, itutuloy ko pa rin kung anong gagawin ko. Ganun kasi yung mindset ko. So, if you don't like me, and I'm sorry for that, hindi ko pipilit yung sarili ko, pero I'm showing who I really am. I'm not being fake to anyone else. And hindi ako social, hindi ako upscale. Ganito lang taga. Chill, very I'm just me.
But I like you,
Hello?
JB. I like you. So, ibig sabihin, ano, I don't
Hindi naman
care
social
if,
lang, nagkikita tayo
yeah, we talk. Hindi naman.
Kasi
Eric,
laking Subic ako, so everything kasi doon is very chill eh.
yes, I know that. And with your dogs too. And while playing
Yeah.
golf, and while playing all those social sports, horseback riding,
Okay,
water
yun lang yun.
polo, yeah, running with your Doberman. Yeah, yeah.
German Shepherds
Yeah.
yun.
German Shepherds, Doberman. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Eric, among the five of you, ikaw na lang ang hindi pa nakakapag-compete internationally because your pageant has been pushed back for next year.
Yes, Tito.
Looking at the four others in the frame right now, what have you somehow, ano nakukuha mo from them? What do you get from them? What kind of impression can you get from them that would help you somehow in preparing for your international competition in Indonesia next year?
When you like informed me, Tito, that we would be having a live chat with all these people, and then I like look at them. I'm like, oh my god, all of them have a title in an international. They've all competed internationally, and I'm like the only one who's just recently joined pageantry. I mean, Ginoong Pilipinas was actually just my second pretty big pageant, other than Ginoong Pilipinas to do, which I had to join anyway internationally. And I was kind of excited to meet them as well and to be part of this. And of course, it didn't surprise me that everyone answers so well. They're all fluent, they're all good looking. And it just gives me, it also inspires me to do good because I know that the Philippines is always in the forefront of pageantry. And I just hope that everyone else in this chat will be like supporting me as well. And I'll be trying to see, listening to their advice. What have they been doing? What was their problems in the competition? And that will try to bring me an edge when competing internationally. And I actually look forward to competing next year in Indonesia. And I just hope to do my best. And I hope to be in a group chat like this one day where I can say that I have an international title as well.
Thank you so much, Eric. Now, I have a question for all the five of you. And ano naman to, but this is very, actually, this is not really simple. Ano daw ang opinion? What is your opinion about men in pageantry receiving indecent proposals? How do you handle indecent proposals? Okay? George, ikaw muna. How do you handle indecent proposals, George?
I think dito the best thing that I can do. Actually, lagi ko siyang ginagawa kasi sobrang dami talaga. At minsan nakaka-encounter pa ako na hindi ko ina-expect na tao na mag-o-offer sa yung gano'n. Siguro ignore lang talaga. Yun lang talaga.
Ang hirap kasi minsan ng i-ignore lang, sabihin napakasuplado mo, hindi ba?
Ah,
But
minsan parang katulad lang din siya na tito ng Minsan kasi may mag-message sa'yo, like kunwari, nagkita kayo, biglang mag-I love you, parang ganun eh. So, pag ganun, thank you, then pwedeng minsan, ignore mo na lang. Kasi for sure, hindi lang sa'yo nag-message yan eh. It's either mga pageant winner, mga gwapong lalaki ang mini-message ng mga yan. So, yun lang ang tingin ko.
pero ako naman, George, hindi pa ako nagsabi ng I love you sa'yo, di ba?
Ay, talaga ba dito?
Nagsabi na ba ako? Parang hindi ko naman. I love you, anak. Ganon. May anak
Yeah,
na
yun.
kasama. I love you, anak. May ganon. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Iuhuli natin si Kuya Andrew for this question. JP, ikaw, how do you handle indecent proposals?
Sa akin kasi I don't wanna be rude to anyone kasi syempre some people kasi yung proposal na yun so hindi naman din hindi negative for them kahit negative siya for me. So sa akin I just sometimes I'll just smile, sometimes I'll just say na sorry, no, hindi ko po ginagawa yan, sorry I don't do this, or if talagang it's too much just ignore na wala namang mawawala kasi kung ignore mo. If people think you're rude, kung para sa'yo yung pag-ignore mo is in the right place, wala rin mang problema doon. So yun lang din. Ignore and just avoid na to be rude to anyone.
Hindi ko naman yun, alam na kung sinasabi sa'yo ng anything to that effect, JP, hindi ba? O ako
Ano
pa,
yan?
paano naman? Ako naman, I'm very nice to you always, hindi ba? JP, ikaw naman.
Always.
Yeah. How do you handle indecent?
Personally,
Yeah.
I have been hearing like a lot of times, like people actually receive indecent proposals, that people actually participate in indecent proposals. To me naman, I always like to stay away from grown people's business. So parang if people accept this and people actually participate in this for whatever reasons those may be for them, who am I to judge? Parang that may happen because of other reasons that we do not and we will never understand. But the way I handle it is as like just everyone else. Like I ignore it and like I actually, speak very nicely. Parang I do not really participate in this and that. If you want, you can do this somewhere else. There's no harm in being nice to these people because to them, they're not really aware on what they're doing. They're not really sure if this is right or wrong. All they have in mind is just they have something to offer and it's up for you to grab it. So to people out there who are grabbing it, I mean, good for you as long as no one's forcing you. It's not done forcefully and you're doing it by all of your will, then go for it. Yun lang naman yung opinion ko, Tito.
Naloka ako. May mga grab talaga. Grab na pala ngayon yung mga ganoon. Ano? Oh. Eric, what's your answer to that, Eric? How do you handle indecent proposals, Eric?
I think I agree with everyone else, Tito. Just like if I get a message something like that, I just tend to ignore it because it's not something nice that you want to read. You get a lot of support in pageantry. Good luck or congratulations, and then you always have that one message that's like, oh, you want to do this? I'll give you this, and they can say it's rude to ignore someone, but it's also rude to offer something like that. I think because you don't know me personally, and I don't think it's right to do something like that. And I'm just lucky that it doesn't happen to me a lot so far, and it also never happened to me physically. It's always through messages. So that's just my opinion on it.
Thank you, Eric. Now let's go to Kuya Andrew. How
Yeah,
did you
so,
handle indecent proposals before? Do you still get them up to now?
I'm not like a fine wine. No one messages me anymore. I'm a dad with a dad bod.
Hmm.
Um, Ignore, because you know what? What people have got to realize, and especially or the general public, is we're still people. We're still human beings, and just because you know a certain celebrity or a certain person, it doesn't give you the right to message them things like that, or anything. And don't get upset if they don't message back, because there's probably 1,000 or 50,000 other people trying to message, like, hi idol, this, that, and the other. So don't get offended if they can't reply to you, and just respect their space as a human being, because a lot of these celebrities and pageant people are put up on a pedestal, and at the end of the day, we still have families too. We still eat, sleep, do regular things. So if we don't reply to your indecent proposal, or just your message in general, it's either we feel disrespected, or if we don't answer your message, it's because natabunan or something, or we're busy, we have other things that we need to do, and work, and family time. So yeah, just ignore at the end of the day. Ignore the indecent proposals.
Kuya Andrew, may additional question ka here that you will answer. Is it fine with you if a gay man or a bisexual will join a male pageant? Kuya Andrew, what's your answer?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Why should it be a problem if they can represent their city or the country um, well? Whether it be a straight or gay guy, it doesn't matter. You know, it's still a male
If
pageant,
there's a
and
contest now for,
definition of
eh,
male.
what if it's a contest for married male? Paano
Sorry,
kung for married male naman ang contest? Will you join another contest
married
even if you're
male,
a
like
daddy with
the
two kids?
Mrs. Philippines, or Mr.
Oh
Married
yeah,
Philippines.
the counterpart of that for married male. Will you?
Would I? Whew, that would take a bit of training, especially with
Yes.
the rig I have now. Hindi pang pageant to, pang donut eating competition pa.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme ito. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't
So
know, because I don't think we should have too many. I think we have enough pageants now. I don't think we should have 50 pageants. We should have 10 pageants, and then we select from there. Otherwise, you're just thinning out the competition, diba? You want to pick the best.
okay. How about you,
That's just my opinion.
JB? Yeah. Are you done with pageantry? Are we moving forward now in your case? Finished ka na ba with pageantry?
Sorry.
And are you done with pageantry, JB? You're moving forward na from everything?
Yes.
But you're the
Well,
Mr.
I'm
World
done na
Asia
with pageantry as well
Pacific.
na it's the highest na rin for the male eh.
Mhm.
Mr. World din is the highest male pageantry na rin. So wala na rin akong pupuntahan na mas mataas pa doon. So ang
Gagawa ako ng
it's
contest,
hindi naman common
JB.
kung bababa ka pa.
Gagawa ako ng
Kung
contest,
para
JB.
sa'yo, why not?
Mr.
Mr. Galaxy,
Universe,
Mr. Galaxy.
Mr. Universe of the Galaxy. Oo. Nakakaloka, ano ba yan? Ikaw, JP, are you still willing to, is this the end of the line for pageantry sa'yo? Or are you open to being challenged to join another one?
You know what, Tito? Like all of their questions, I also get this the most. Like, parang, are you interested to join any pageant? And especially that we have Mr. World Philippines here, every other year. So, parang I've been asked if I want to join or not. Parang as of the moment, I'd like to be honest. Na parang there's no closing doors. Like, I mean, I'm only 25, so like there's still a long way up until I age out. You know what I mean? But like as of now, I'm more focused on a lot of things, like ironing out my career, like making sure that because I've already been through that phase. I've already did a lot of things in order for me to make to say na parang natapos ko na yan. Now this is another opportunity for me that I can enjoy, that I can to further my personal or my professional career. But if that door opens to me in the future, who knows? Like kahit kung ano mang mangyari, not just Mr. World, but not just other pageants, then I'm here to consider it naman. I'm not saying it's a definite no, but I'm also not saying that it's 100% yes. Who knows?
So I could see you in the next Mr. World Philippines
I think
competition.
he only has 2 more years left, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It
Then
could
he should.
happen this year or next year, perhaps, Mr. World
Then I guess
Philippines.
I might have to prepare as early as now. So when that time comes,
Yeah, yeah. How about you, George? Ikaw ba, meron ka pa bang interest to join another pageant?
Siguro, ah, hindi ko masabi kasi tito, ano eh, parang same nga, 25 pa lang din ako and hindi ko masasabi
My
kung
God, isa pa tong
may
Mr.
mga
World
pageant.
Philippines din, nakakaloka. Diyos ko, title mo hinahabol nila
Siyempre,
JB. My God.
kasi iba pag Mr. World. Pero siguro kasi nagka-COVID nga dito, hindi na natin sure kung kailan yung next. Kaya sabi ko, kung ano yung dumating na opportunity, yun muna ako magpo-focus siguro.
Okay. Eric, iba yung question ko sa'yo, lalaban ka pa lang next year, so it's premature to ask kung mag-join ka ng another pageant. So this is my question for you, and kumbaga parang i-wrap up na natin after this. Are you agreeable for a trans man joining a a male contest, male competition? Trans man, are you available to them joining a male pageant?
I mean, for me, Tito, it's like I graduated psychology, and a lot of that involved, how people think. And there are just some people out there who feel that they are men and they were born in as a different gender, and they want to change. They want to feel comfortable, and they want to become the male that they want to be. So if they feel that way, I feel that they should join. No matter if they're gay, trans, whatever. As long as they feel like they are straight males, they should have every opportunity, just like the rest of us, to join male pageants. Because who's to say they aren't men just because they changed their gender? If that person had a little change inside the womb and turned out to be a male anyways, that person would have joined either way. So today's technology gives us so much opportunities to give everyone more advantage and more opportunity to be who they want to be.
Thank you for that, Eric. So now I will give each one of you the time to give your parting words to all our viewers and perhaps to give them updates on what they can expect from you in the coming months, the minute that we return to the new normal of things. I will give you the time now to give your parting words to all our viewers and friends who have followed us all throughout this afternoon's program. Okay, JB will start with you. JB, give us your parting words for all our viewers.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat na nakinig ngayon. And sa expectation sa akin, siguro wag muna kayo mag-expect for the next few months. Kasi kahit ako, hindi pa rin sure kung anong mangyayari talaga. I'm still trying to cope. Lahat tayo nahirapan sa COVID. Wala rin akong work ngayon. So talagang kayod kung kayod. So hopefully everyone is doing well. Everyone is safe. Yun naman ang pinaka-importante. And lahat tayo makakabangon din dito. So tiwala lang and yun. Everyone stay safe and God bless.
Thank you, JB. JP.
Tito, thank you so much
From JB, we go to JP.
Maraming
Yeah,
salamat
your parting words.
this platform para naman everyone is going to be as entertained as possible. Of course, as informed as possible kung ano na nangyayari sa life namin, especially sa amin after sa mga competitions namin. So first, I'd like to say na thank you so much again to the people who have been constantly supporting me till now, even if I'm not competing anymore and all that. And also to everyone who's been very nice and all that. So in this pandemic, I'd also like to say, mental health is really, really very important. I don't want to forget the importance in that. If you need people, if you need someone that you can share with your problems and all that, and here, pwede tayo mag-usap and all that. And I'd also like to insert this dito na in this trying times, in this very, big world that we live in this country na hindi tayo sure talaga what's going on. I hope you guys never I hope you guys are not afraid to speak out your truth. I hope you guys are not afraid of anything else. As long as you know that it's right and as long as that you're gonna help other people and as long as alam niyo yung it's gonna help the future of this country, please do so and vote wisely. Yun lang dito.
Thank you, JP. Eric, your parting words.
All right, Tito. Well, to you, Tito, thank you so much for inviting all of us here. You know, it was an opportunity for us to talk and to converse with you and all the viewers as well. And what you can expect from me is, of course, I'll be joining the Mr. Universe Tourism Pageant, which will be held in Indonesia. I very much look forward to it. And I hope that all of those supporting me, I know that you've been very supportive. So I hope that you do continue to support me while I represent the Philippines. I shall do it with pride, and I hope that I will be able to charm the Indonesian crowd and the judges as well. And I think that's all. That's what's going to be coming up for me. So stay tuned for that. And once again, thank you, Tito, so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Eric. George, parting words.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat Tito Norman sa pag-invite sa akin at nice meeting you guys, lahat ng mga brothers pageant. At ayun, gusto ko lang magpasalamat din sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa akin kahit nasa pandemic na tayo, may mga nagme-message. Maraming salamat sa inyo at stay safe guys. Yun yung pinaka-importante natin gawin at maging productive tayo. Sulitin natin yung araw na nasa bahay tayo at sulitin natin yung oras para sa pamilya at maging busy tayo para hindi tayo makapag-isip ng mga negative. Yun lang.
Thank you, George. And last but not the least, Kuya Andrew. Kuya ha, hindi Tito ha. Kuya ha.
Tito,
Your parting words.
thank you. Sa lahat ng viewers, thank you for watching and thank you for the support when I went through Mr. World and throughout my rugby career. Thanks to the guys today for an interesting afternoon. This is a new one for me. And I just want to say, we're praying for all the frontliners out there, the doctors, nurses, health workers, and everyone, even from the security guards to people working in the groceries. You're doing a fantastic job, and we pray for you every day, and we'll all get through this. And anyone that's struggling now, this is only temporary. Just pray and see you on the other side. And one last message, Kim Idol, rest in peace. He was a frontliner and he died in honor and he's a great man. Okay, see you guys.
Thank you, Andrew. And thank you to all the Kings of Philippine Pageantry. Kahit nag-overtime tayo ngayon, masaya ako mag-overtime pag kayong limang kasama ko. Kami nga ng mga friends ko, parang, wow, you'll be surrounded by them. I don't mind, I'm so used because the Kings always swarm around the Queen Bee. Parang yan daw, so that's why I'm here. So thank you so much to all our readers, watchers rather, our readers, our viewers, our fans, our followers. Thank you for watching this afternoon's program. And please look forward to our next episodes because next week's episode is going to be another serious one. But I will tell you about it early next week, siguro. But for now, we will bid you goodbye. And please stay safe. If you are not going to do anything outside, stay home and enjoy the rest of the weekend, whatever's left of it. Thank you so much, Eric, JP, JB, George, and Kuya Andrew. Bye-bye to everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Fist bump.
Oh my God.